Welcome. I am the H-Town vet, and I'd like to welcome you to our channel, a place where we will discuss a variety of benefits available to veterans, active duty members, and their dependents. Come into the room, family. We're going to check our sound and we're going to get started. We have Brother M.G. Smith is in the house first, says H-Town, good evening, and veteran family. Welcome, my brother. Welcome. Then we have Brother Charleston say evening, H-Town and family, and M.G. Smith. Yes, indeed, family. We're going to get ready to get started, and we thank you for being here. Give us a chance to check our sound, and we'll be right with you. As we said, family, welcome. We're glad to see the family coming in promptly and on time. We thank you. We have our sister Betty Bob says, H-Town, good evening. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. Yes, I did. I spent it with my family. Coasty says, evening, H-Town and the family. Everybody show love to Betty Bob Charleston, Coasty, M.G. Smith, and Betty Bob's. And everybody's speaking. We thank you for being here. We're going to go ahead and get started, family. Thank you for your patience. For those of you that are new to the channel, you can chat, but there's a 5-day wait. You have to be subscribed for at least 5 days. This is very important. We found it to be an effective tool in keeping down trolling issues. We don't tolerate trolling here. We don't have no problem with disagreements, but there's a time and a place for everything. So if you have to disagree, we do that during the after party, or unless it's a subject that you may have an opinion on, I may consider it then. Now we have Charleston say, I always try to be on time for quarters, reading pod plan of the day. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Y'all do a great job around here. And thank you. Now, for those of you that may find this information informative, entertaining, or whatever you're looking for here, please smash that like button. We appreciate it. Now we're going to get ready to get on topic, family. So we're about to get on topic for now. And the topic for today is, today we're talking about the Medal of Honor winner, Mr. Dakota Myers, and some statements he have made concerning disabled veterans and the benefits that they get, in particular, the monetary benefits. So we're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to break it down, some of his quotes. We want to become more familiar with the people that call themselves speaking on our issues, on our behalf, however they want to say it. Anything that they're doing that could possibly influence or have consequences on our benefits. Let's talk about it. And the question is, was Dakota Meyer, the Medal of Honor winner, justified in condemning monetary payments to disabled veterans? And it's our goal here tonight to answer that question, not to vilify this Marine, this fellow military member, but to actually answer the question. Now listen to what Betty Bob say. Why are other veterans pocket watching other veterans? Interesting question. Anybody have any possible? That's a question that brought up another question. That's a very good one. We're going to try to answer it. Anybody have any answers on that? Not talking about what he's getting. He gets what, about $1,400 for having that Medal of Honor, and we don't know if he's disabled yet. You know, H-Town. I'll find out. Now, these people that come, these other veterans, as Betty Bob described them, so they come in camouflaging themselves as us, as they are one of us, and they're fitting in the crowd, so they can go into other groups and say, you know what? I'm one of them. We were having different reparation hearings in our Black community, those of us that descend of freedmen, and it would be other Black people in there talking about, we don't need no reparations. And we like, who guy is this? Who girl is this? Come to find out, they wouldn't qualify anyway because they don't descend from there, they're immigrants. So they were trying to sabotage, and they would actually be some of the people that would be on the hearing board, crashing it out, acting all ghetto and stuff, trying to cosplay or pretend to be one of us. Listen here, doing a whole bunch of extra stuff that Black people don't do on a daily basis, especially when it comes to money and business. So now we have veterans that are doing this. You know, I'm this, I'm that, and I love God, but I don't think you should get nothing. Hold on, all this stuff ain't jiving. You come in peace, but you practice war. Now listen, Charleston says shipmate, because I think they want to be LPO of veterans, mouthpiece, call attention on deck. See, people want to be the mouthpiece, but they don't want to face the consequences. They don't want to bear the burden that we bear on a daily basis. They don't want to face the consequences or the fallout. You understand? That's why they camouflage themselves as being one of us, but acting so much different than one of us. Now, sometimes they try to either camouflage themselves or they mix in biblical words or spiritual words, you know, like sacrifice, like moral compass, quoting the Bible and different things like that. So that image can be photoshopped. What image that? Let us know what you're talking about. We don't want to miss nothing. Now, as the consequences, they doing things that's tripping us up or trying to trip us up. That ain't cool. But sitting there acting like they ain't done nothing wrong. Let's get to it, family. The main issue that keeps coming up is our VA disability percentages. Okay? Because if you can affect the percentages, whether a veteran is able to get the percentage, keep the percentage, right? You can affect how much monetary compensation they get or we get. Give me a second. Everything was going smoothly until then, but this happens. We're going to correct this now. Family, what do you think of that? That their focus is on, as Betty Bob say, our monetary, on our pocket watching our funds. Let's talk about it. So first thing they want to know is the percentage. They're fascinated with what percentage we have. Okay? Betty Bob say, H-Town, sorry. Not that can be Dakota face and someone else's body. You some okay. Okay, you talking about that photo. Oh, you something else. It could be. Oh boy. Now I know, let me know, because I want to make sure I'm putting out the right stuff. That's all. Now they really fascinated not just with our percentage, but the benefits that are connected to our VA compensation rating or percentage. Not just the federal benefits, but also the state benefits that we can receive. But we're going to break it down, family. Okay, here we go. This is what you talk about the Photoshop here. So now here is Dakota Meyer, Medal of Honor winner. It's been pinned on by President Obama, so this happened some years back. And we're going to go into some of his statements, 3 in particular. First, if you want a full breakdown of his position, because we're not going into detail, we did go into it somewhat on one of our previous videos. You need to go to his, I guess it's a website, The Bluff, and he talks about different ones, and we're covering 2 here, and the other one is farther down in the article. Okay, but you know he goes into it in The Bluff. Number 1. First, he talks. The title is The Bluff: Reforming VA Disability Incentive Service, Not Sympathy. So they equate money to sympathy. They equate compensation to sympathy, to incentives. He's using the same word that the Ryan Gosling or whatever he's using about perverse incentives. You're gonna see that word over and over. So these are talking points, like political talking points. Listen, in my opinion, well, they literally are, because they're all saying the same thing. The Bluff, all right? His website. Number 1, we build a system that rewards pain. It's time to build one that rewards purpose. Purpose is like a spiritual, metaphysical. It's not a tangible thing. Okay? Reward is like you winning the lottery or something. We're not winning the lottery when we are being compensated for our pain or our loss. We're going to talk about that. Number 2, stop paying people to be broken. Start paying them for standing up. Here's another general statement: reward purpose, paying for standing up. What does that mean? What does standing up mean? What does reward purpose mean? It means whatever they want it to mean. It's definitely not going to be based on a doctor's diagnosis. Number 3, and when I say they, I'm talking about Congress and the VA and whatever people they use, puppets they use to propagate their position. Number 3, what you incentivize is what you will get always. Just some real philosophical googly babble. We want to start calling it veteran babble. Okay. Number 4, incentivize service, empower, strength. Let veterans lead again. Lead what? Lead what? All these are all, like non-tangible things you cannot measure. And they will mean different things to different people. Like love. I don't really use the word love, because love mean one thing to one person. Love mean something else to someone else. In the words of Al Green, love will make you go to bed early. It'll make you stay up all night. Make you want to do wrong. Make you want to do right. Okay, so it's all over the place. Let's talk about it. Now, and see all this, look at that dollar sign, mean no payment. That's what it means. That's what it means. No money. Now let's get into what Betty Bops is saying. H-Town, I was just joking. I'm a photographer. Oh yeah, I just don't know. I don't catch all of them. I don't know. I got so much going on. She said, I'm a photographer in the 80s with a degree. So to keep up with these youngsters, I had to learn Photoshop to clean up people to look beautiful and amazing. Okay, yeah. I thought that, you know, 'cause I want y'all to know that was a real animal that was in there. They got a name for it. I forget what they call it. I think it's the camel animal, insect or something. Now listen to what Charleston, thank you though, sister. Charleston says, I confuse with Marine's point. Most are enlisted. Were we following orders? What he meant about lead again. How could we be leading when we was following orders? You show right. How can you lead when you were following orders? We followed the orders of our, you know, what we call it, our sergeants. Y'all would call it your senior chiefs and chief petty officers in yours. Staff sergeants, I forget what they call them in the Marines, but different branches, different things. So yes, we're following orders, but we're gonna lead again. Lead what? We were completing the mission and following orders. Now they want to make us leaders. You know where they want to lead us? Away from the money. That's where they want you to lead you. Let me tell you something. H-Town know the game. You can't come to me with that stuff. I ain't much trying to hear. I want to hear what your last, I want to hear when you bring up the money. Now, we're going to start with his first statement, okay? Stop paying people to be broken. This is what he says, okay? Dakota Meyer says, we have Benny in the room, says, hello, H-Town vet and chat family. Hello, everybody show love to Benny. Good to see you, my brother, Benny. So first thing Dakota Meyer says is stop paying people to be broken. All right? This is what he says. Paying them to be broken. I find that to be problematic. How y'all feel about it? Because paying to be broken. Well, let's think about that. Are they paying them to be broken, or they paying for the damage that the military service caused? Stop paying people to be broken. Quite interesting statement. Yes, indeed. I find that to be very interesting. Now, family, I find it offensive. Okay, MG Smith, but this is a Medal of Honor winner. How can you be offended by somebody who has the highest military, what they call it, recognition, medal? Can you question them when they have, because that's his brand. You know, he's a Medal of Honor winner. He's speaking as a Medal of Honor winner. Can we even question that? Let's continue. Now, so when it comes to the VA, if we are broken or injured, as he would call it, broken, really kind of, you know, it's kind of, I don't know if it's kind of downplaying what we go through. We're broken because of our military service. You know, whether that be mental health, mentally broken, or physically broken. If we want to use that term, we're supposed to get properly compensated for it. No, but he says we should lead again, whatever that's supposed to mean. So he's saying clearly, you should not pay people to be broken. There should be no incentive for being broken. If you're broken, you don't get paid for it. You get back up, okay? And you make the best of what you got. Don't complain. Now listen, Betty Bob say, how are you going to hold a job and you are sick? Mental health, migraine, body busted up. The list goes on and on. He doesn't give any specifics, only general statements. Just like with Lieutenant Colonel Gade, retired, when questioned directly, he really didn't have any answers. It was a whole bunch of gobbledygook. He looked like he had never been challenged before because he just followed marching orders. Let's talk about it, family. So he say don't pay people to be broken, right? He say don't pay people to be broken. So you saying what is a person supposed to do if they have physical ailments such as tinnitus that affects them hearing, sleeping, causes depression and other mental health conditions? What if they have sleep apnea so severe that they stop breathing in the middle of the night? How can you control sleep apnea? Come on, let's talk about it. Huh? Our brother says, MG Smith, he's questioning other veterans, but his heroics is stereotyping. Yes. It's like, yeah, he's like a stereotype, like something on a cereal box. But he questions us because we didn't do what he did. You don't have the credentials that he have. Huh? Getting that medal gives him the right to say what he's saying. I say his voice don't mean no more than mine. Now, some people have elevated and showed a certain deference toward somebody who wins the award because we know the sacrifices, but that don't get you to speak on my business. That don't, that don't qualify you to speak on my business. Now, listen. Charleston say, what civilian employer will give a job to a broken person? Forgot ADA, they can stay. Another is more qualified. They can say, yeah, they can say another is more qualified. He's not even dealing with that. So if you have tinnitus at the job, you working at a job with a lot of noise, it might get worse. You have sleep apnea. You may have problems waking up for work because you're burnt out. If you have heart conditions, how can you not be? And let me ask you this here. If you don't pay people to be broken, how will they ever get any medication? If you don't pay people to be broken, well, when will they ever get any mental health treatment? And they'd have to pay for that medication for that. You're not paying for brokenness. You're paying them you're treating the condition. Paying and treating is two different things. You're paying them for the loss of use of a part of their body, their mental capacity that they would have, and they'd be able to work at a job. Now, what if they're in a wheelchair and you say they're broken? Dakota Meyer. So who's going to pay for the wheelchair? Who's going to pay for the adaptation to the home? Who's going to pay for the adaptation to the house? He say just lead. Now, you got PTSD. Suck it up and drive on. Sick call Sally, they say, right? Man. Then if you have bipolar disorder, tinnitus, and what if you exhausted and you have fatigue syndrome? How can you work if you have no energy? How can you lead without energy? Mr. Dakota, please. And if you see this, you hear, you're welcome to come up and explain this to us. Betty say Charleston Z 100%. See, they say these things not thinking that they would be questioned. They're living in some higher air where they think they can just say this stuff without being checked. Oh boy, you don't get to do that. I don't know you like that, homie. You don't get to speak on my business. Now, if you don't share my interest when it comes to helping veterans, and ADA has only been federal law since 1996. Whoa, didn't know that. Family, I see these statements as problematic. Let us continue. So you go from being broken to broke. Hold on. You're broken. You shouldn't get paid for being broken. So if you don't get paid for being broken, you have no money for medication. You got no money for home health care. You got no money for treatment. You got no money for gas for travel pay to get back and forth to your appointments. Wait a minute now. You get no special monthly compensation, no housebound. Wait a minute now. So you'll go from broken to broke. That's why so many veterans are homeless. What does he have to say, Mr. Dakota? What you have to say about homeless veterans who don't have their percentage rating and are struggling? Now listen to what they say. Charleston say no money for rent or home. He say you can lead though. That's almost like having money. You just need to stand up. Now, Farm Girl Rebel say, evening H-Town and the family. Let everybody show love to Farm Girl Rebel. Thank her for being here. Yeah, we're talking about Mr. Dakota saying that about us being broken, that we shouldn't get paid for being broken. But if we don't get paid for being broken through the form of medication, compensation to make up for the loss of employment income, we'll go from broken to broke, and we'll be broken and broke. Come on now, family. Is he making any sense? What kind of business could he lead? Family, what kind of business could he lead? Huh? He'd probably get a federal contract, couldn't he? So we covered the first one where he said, stop paying people to be broke. Now we're going to go into his second statement that I found to be problematic. The system rewards pain. And when he's speaking of the system, he's talking about VA compensation system. It rewards pain. Okay, family. Everybody's saying hi to Farm Girl. He said Myers is an arms dealer. Huh? Nah, he's leading. That's where he make his money, from leading. And, oh Lord, I'm about to say the other one. I ain't gonna say it yet. So we're on that second statement. He said, the system rewards pain. Let's talk about it. No, the system don't reward pain. It rewards, or it compensates for severity level. It don't reward pain. It compensates for severity level. And there's a mechanism that's medically based that they use, using the proper people to evaluate your disability, right? And the severity assessment, including, they go through the rating schedule. And on the rating schedule, they deal with symptom frequency. We use one of the most simple things, and it's not a simple condition, But migraine headaches, how frequent are your migraine headaches? Then they deal with symptom duration. How long does your migraine headaches last? Number 3, the impact your migraines have on your daily life, on your ability to get out of bed, to do your proper hygiene, feed yourself, clothe yourself, and get out of the house, do whatever you need to do. Then the last, number 4, the migraines or the disabilities impact on work. They don't talk about work limits. Neither does Dakota Meyer or Lieutenant Colonel Gage. They talk in very metaphorical, gobbledygook language. Do you hear me, family? Say, arm dealers give pain. Yes, indeed. These people are jokes. They talk. He sound very out of touch. Now, it is based on work limits. They're not paying for pain. You are being compensated for the work limits that your disability puts on your ability to earn income. Work limits mean less work, less productive work. The quality of work is lessened, and you got to be compensated for that loss of average earning capacity. Why is that so hard to understand? Based on your service-connected disability. Oh yeah, remember he used the word incentive, but he's like talking like Ryan G, right? From Veteran of Foreign Wars. Reverse incentive or proper compensation. I think it's proper compensation when they have a true measure of the severity level of your condition. Come on now, family. Now the last one, this is the one that really rubbed me wrong. And this one here, I don't want y'all to get upset, okay? I went back and saw this. I said, oh, I almost missed this one. This is what he says, the Medal of Honor winner, Mr. Dakota here. We have to stop confusing sacrifice with suffering. Hold on. I thought our sacrifice in many ways caused our suffering, right? The fact that y'all on these ships and the dangerous things that you have to do, the noises that you had to hear, that sacrifice, 6 months at sea, 3 months at sea, people in submarines, people in the Coast Guard doing all this hopping on and off of boats and vessels and dealing with drug cartels, dealing with the sea, the weather. I thought that sacrifice could cause suffering. Am I missing something? I thought the Marines first they having to set up stuff and sometime engage the enemies first. I thought that was a sacrifice that may cause suffering in the form of injuries. That's why they call it suffering and injury. Isn't that how we describe it? So let us go through this here. He say we have to stop confusing sacrifice with suffering. Let's see what's going on here. What does he mean by that? The first sacrifice we make is basic training. Let me ask you a question. When you're doing those push-ups and all the stuff you have to do in basic training, doesn't that sacrifice during basic training cause some suffering? Am I missing something? Didn't he go to basic training? Don't basic training sacrifice causes pain? Huh? Exhaustion. Isn't that pain and suffering? Am I missing something, family? What military did he did he go in the military in the United States? Migraine headaches. What he's talking about rewarding sacrifice. So people sacrifice going to the military. They get service connected for a condition. We're going to use an example as migraine headaches or any form of headaches. You put your condition in, you can plug it in, but we're going to use something that we can make clear. So he's saying that what? Hold on, I got to go back to that, fam. Now listen, we talking about migraine headaches. I want you to hear what he's saying. I don't want you to miss this. He's saying we have to stop confusing sacrifice with suffering. So if we confusing, he meaning connecting sacrifice to suffering. He don't mean confusing. He mean connecting sacrifice to suffering, because sacrifice is your military service. That's his symbolic word for military service. Suffering is the service connected condition to your military service. Did you hear what I just told you? Who else told you that? So they're using words, trick language, right? When he say we have to stop confusing sacrifice with suffering, he's saying we have to stop connecting our in-service injuries with what happens in the military. I just said it earlier, man. I had it. What happens to in the military connected to our injury. That's what he's saying. He think he's slick. I thought it's called the Medal of Honor, not the Medal of Dishonor. Yeah, like I say, we suffer in basic training. So we cannot confuse what was that? Boy, y'all know my memory ain't good. What with suffering? Sacrifice with suffering. Well, we sacrifice. Okay, I know he said I'm lost here. So he's saying we're sacrifice. We can't confuse sacrifice with suffering. Well, you sacrifice with your military service. The suffering is the injury that you incur. And he's saying it should not be service connected. You shouldn't connect your sacrifice of joining the military with your contract, whatever you experienced in there, with the suffering that comes afterward. So you shouldn't have any service-connected disability. You shouldn't be paid or compensated in any way. Now listen, H-Town, are we even sure these people were in the military? Just because you see a picture does not mean it's real. I totally agree. They don't sound like people that was in the military. Have y'all ever seen the movie The Manchurian Candidate with Denzel Washington and several other great actors? They fabricated a whole combat situation by having all of these soldiers. They were on a mission. They got them and put them in a room and start like psychologically programming them that they did some things, and the lieutenant was honorable, and he was like they gave him like a high medal. I don't know if it was the Medal of Honor, and all these guys were set up to do an assassination. It's called the Manchurian Candidate. It was the second one. So I don't know if these guys are real, because they don't sound real. They don't even don't talk like veterans to me. Do they talk like veterans to you? So we can't confuse sacrifice with suffering. So if your sacrifice in the military caused you to suffer in the form of migraine headaches, and the highest you can get is a 50% rating, and this sacrifice caused you to suffer, listen, migraine attacks very frequently, completely prostrating, this the suffering, prolonged and causing severe economic in adaptability. So if it's causing you to be economically unable to make money because you're always suffering, and plug in your condition, whether it's PTSD, an amputation, whether it's a back problem, a heart problem, family. Sacrifice and suffering should not be connected. That's the only way your service connected, is your military sacrifice and the injuries you suffered because of it. And tell me if I'm making sense on that. Let me know now. I know he's trying to make it. Whew. Family, what does he say about this? And the ultimate sacrifice, it's not just you. So when he says sacrifice doesn't cause suffering, it shouldn't be connected to suffering. Well, don't family members suffer when one of their family members that were in the military paid the ultimate sacrifice, losing their lives? Huh? Or they suffer so bad, like our Marine brother Jordan, who took his own life because the VA would not treat him because he was suffering and he was trying to get the right help. But they say, thank you for your service. They tackled him, man. So you think family members, do you think when the veteran was losing, or the military member was losing their life, they wasn't suffering pain from dying? Whew. Where they get these people from? Now, Charles say, not enough swearing, even on YouTube. Most enlisted swear. Yes, indeed. Oh boy. H-Town, you are making more than makes sense. Okay. I don't know, because I know I was getting confused. So let me know if I'm not, sister and brothers, because I don't know. The stuff got me confused. Even on chat here, I let slip swear. Hey, it happens. We look, if y'all make statements, y'all make curse words, y'all never see me trip by that. Y'all never see me trip by that. That's not considered trolling. If it's on point of what we talking about, y'all don't see me. Sometimes I say curse words. I said a few dames in this and a little off-color language. Time out, family. Time out. Time out. We hold on now. We got to listen to this person's words. Especially, we're going to start with that last one. This is his words. Medal of Honor winner, Mr. Dakota Meyer. His last one was, we have to stop confusing sacrifice with suffering. So what does that mean? The sacrifice should not be related to the suffering. You shouldn't connect your military sacrifice with receiving compensation for your suffering. What happens if you have migraines and you can't work? What happens if you have irritable bowel syndrome and it affects your ability to work? What are you saying? And we covered the first two. Stop paying people to be broken. This is what they're saying. He's saying here. System rewards pain. This is your words, sir. This is your words. So tell me what that got to do with winning the Medal of Honor. What's honorable about your statement, sir? Please let me know. And we consider it cowardly to say statements like that and not face veterans that you're talking about. I say it for myself. I consider that to be a cowardly act, to make such statements and not talk to the veterans and explain yourself on what you mean about this. Why are you hiding somewhere? Come on out and show who you are. You're a Medal of Honor winner. You're supposed to be so brave. You so brave if you can make such greasy statements about veterans and their benefits. You can come on out. You can put your Medal of Honor on and tell us what's really going on. We would be very respectful and polite with you, but we dragging you right now. We folding you up like a lawn chair, and we're getting you out the paint because we don't want young veterans to hear this and get discouraged and not seek treatment and not seek their proper compensation rating. Whoo, sound like a politician. You sure right, M.G. Smith. I think Dakota has his eyes on political position. And when he get there, and when he get in that political position, you think he gonna look out for us, family? He's stepping on our backs to improve his position in life, to lock in some funds. They tell us not to live in our disability. Why you living on your Medal of Honor and separating yourselves from us? Come on, fam. Now listen, Farm Girl Rebel says, I think he is saying every vet on disability is blaming all their ailments on military service. That's exactly what he's saying. Thank God for you to put it in articulate words. Thank you. Which just isn't true. Often ailments get worse with time. That's why they pay us for increased severity. They caused it. Even they pay us for increased severity, even if it's not caused by the military, but aggravated by the military, they pay you for increased severity. Huh? Man, if they don't get on up out of here, he get in there, he'll be, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell y'all some of the greatest doctors were in Germany during World War II, and they did the most horrific things. You understand? Some of the greatest doctors, very smart people, did horrible things. So just because they were great here, they did very horrible things. So why in the world can we lift them up in any way? The right is in the wood. Now listen, what one pushed through when they were younger comes back to bite you as you age. You remember what they used to tell us, suck it up and drive on. You remember what they used to tell us, suck it up and drive on. How do y'all feel about these statements, family? Can we redeem him in any way? Was H-Town too heavy-handed? Was H-Town too slanted in his view? I just want an explanation of what you mean by this here. Stop paying people to be broken. Family, listen to that. Stop paying people to be broken, family. I want you, family, y'all got to understand, now that we went, I'm going to have to go back over this again. Stop paying people to be broken, family. Listen at this statement. So he's saying, this gentleman, he's saying, stop paying people to be broken. Here's his blog. Go watch it yourself. Stop paying people to be broken. Meaning don't pay them compensation and the benefits that come with it. Don't give you the funds you need to survive in daily life. Housing, shelter, basic needs, and food, and more. So he don't want you to pay just like you're a broken pencil that need to be thrown in the trash. Did you hear me, family? You're like a broken piece of military equipment that needs to be discarded. Stop paying people for being broken. Don't you want to repair what you're broken? They spend money to have us in the military. They spend money for us to go to the field and ships to go out to sea and planes to fly in the air and for us to go to combat maneuvers or whatever, submarines, all that. They can pay for that. But if we are injured or develop conditions as a result of our service, don't pay people to be broken, the Medal of Honor winner says, Mr. Dakota. Don't pay them for tinnitus. Don't pay them for sleep apnea. Don't pay them for heart disease. Don't pay them for being a paraplegic. Don't pay them for having PTSD trauma. Don't pay them for bipolar disorder. Don't pay them for migraine headaches. Don't pay them for chronic fatigue. What is going on here? Are we in the Twilight Zone, family? Is this, am I being punked over here? You remember that show from the early 2000s with Ashton Kutcher? Are we being punked? Where the cameras at? Okay, I started to get Myers saying disability rating is proof of honor, amount of service, competing with him. Huh. Don't want to compete. I kind of clarified. I don't know exactly. Okay, Josie said, let's start with him not being paid for being broken. He for being a Medal of Honor winner, he'll say, I get that for my sacrifice, not for being broken. But didn't he try to, what there were reports that he tried to unalive himself? Is that a broken act? And was he upset from what reports said was because what? And the deal he had with a company that fell through about money or being compensated from a private company? Come on now. Allegedly. M.G. Smith, I don't care what branch of the military you're in, it's a very stressful life, regardless. Every branch of the military. Come on, family. He say don't pay people to be broken. Family, now we're going over this makes sense. You go from broken to being broke listening to him. Then he say the system rewards pain. No, the system compensates for severity level. The more severe or the greater the pain. If he don't talk about, they never talk about injuries. They compensate for the loss of earning capacity from a job, your work limitations. And they give you a proper compensation rating based on severity. And he uses the word incentives a lot. He don't use the word perverse incentives, but he used, so all of them speaking from the same playbook. Now listen, Charleston says 100% disability gets more monthly than what he gets as a Medal of Honor winner. Follow the money. He may not be 100%, and he might be jealous. And if he is 100% disabled, he's a hypocrite. When they asked Lieutenant Gade in the chat, are you a disabled veteran? He said, I'm not going to tell you nothing. Kick rocks. Can you believe that? That's kind of respect he have for fellow veterans. And you want these people to be over committees in Congress and the Senate dealing with your VA disability using a rubber stamp. Hey, you can't say nothing about me. I'm a veteran. Stamp, denied. Stamp, get rid of the benefits. And boy, this family, we just had to go over this. We've been here about 54 minutes. His last statement, we have to stop confusing sacrifice with suffering. What do you think he mean about that? I want your opinion on that. What symbolizes sacrifice in your opinion? I would say sacrifice would be military service, out on deployments, out at sea, in the field, doing training, basic training. This is interesting. We have to stop confusing sacrifice with suffering. His words alone are confusing. Suffer could be suffering injuries because of your sacrifices. Now listen, M.G. Smith say, I don't see how he can justify his philosophy. He's doing all of us a disservice. Yes, indeed. Do you think he's doing himself a disservice? Do you think sometimes when people get bitter, they have an axe to grind? When some people are hurting, they want everybody around them hurting? Huh? Why you want to tear up the whole veteran community because somebody threw a shoe at you? Huh? So some people, when they ain't happy, they don't want nobody around them happy. So if I gotta suffer, all veterans gonna feel this pain. And the only way to get your attention is this. So I'm gonna tell you something. I got an old weird neighbor. He walks over, he plays with the mail or something, talking about, we got, if you get my mail, give it to me. And I said, I don't have your mail. I don't have nobody's mail. And, I made it clear I say, stop mixing up so I don't even touch it. I just put a note in there, take this mail out of my box. He comes over with no shirt on. That's how men flirt. They want to argue. He ain't got no shirt on, got all these tattoos. I guess I'm supposed to be scared or something. Or he just want attention. That's how men flirt when they want attention from other men. They want to argue. I don't want to argue with men. Don't argue with women like that. Think I want to be arguing with a dude? Get out of my face, man. So these people want attention. He know what he's saying would stir up problems here, Mr. Dakota. He don't care because he's probably in pain. We have 13 watching and 13 likes. Thank you, Betty Bobs. Now listen, Charleston say, come on, H-Town. Myers says he deserves all money and hero worship. This hero worship got to end. Woo! Oh, you just gave us the title for a live stream, Charleston. You gave us the title, Hero Worship Has to End. Oh, I ain't gonna say what you just gave it to me. You always giving me titles. Thank you so much. You make me feel so important. I got to read this one more time. We have to stop confusing sacrifice with suffering. So when you sacrifice by joining the military, giving up your rights, going to basic training, you can't leave when you want to. They can put you in riskful situations that harm you, and they're supposed to compensate you. But he's saying they shouldn't follow the contract because if you suffer injuries while you're there, that's the suffering from the sacrifice, like migraines, like PTSD, like sleep apnea, like military trauma, military sexual trauma. So you sacrifice in the military that puts you at risk and you get violated. What is he saying? Are you insane? And you suffer symptoms. You may not be able to get out of bed. It may cause you to have economic loss, family. I had to go back, so we put it at home. And some paid the ultimate sacrifice. And they suffered while they were losing their lives, and their families suffered after they were gone. Or is this insane? What are we in the Twilight Zone, family? I just got to ask again. Is this a joke or something? He really means what he's saying? Time out, family. Time out. Are you getting Judas Goat vibes? look up Crimson Alumni Floor. Salute. Everybody put that salute in the chat. Respect our our fellow veteran officer here. Crimson Alumni 4 says, "Hey y'all, shout out to y'all and thanks, thank you, sacrifice." Yes, indeed. Yes, Twilight Zone. Because this has become very confusing that we have people and our brothers say, this is the problem. We must accept that the problem is we have a degree of hero worship when people get high decorations and military medals, that we start, kind of putting them on a pedestal. We want to respect people for what they've done, but then they kind of can have their own agenda. And some people get the big head or they feel entitled. Now, listen, everybody, Betty Bob saluting, Crimson Alumni 4. Coasty said, hi, Crimson. And then MG Smith said, salute. And then Charleston said, yes, sir, Crimson Alumni 4. And then, hi, Josie, yes. Josie and their family, we doing this thing. I want to ask you the question. When you see, are you getting Judas Goat vibes? And if you are, put just vibes. You're not necessarily that they are the individual. Put JG in the chat if you get Judas Goat vibes from him. And the Judas Goat is the ones that represent us, lead us through the slaughterhouse. They feed them good, and then next thing you know, they kill all us and let them get through, and they take them out last. Do you think this is betrayer language that betrays us? Let us know, family. Now, and I'm going to pull it up. When you look at this individual and the statements that they're making, here, put a goat emoji in the chat if you do get that. If you getting that Judas Goat, put JG in the chat. If you got JG, capital JG for Judas Goat, or put the goat emoji in the chat. This individual and these statements that you see on the screen right now, does that give you Judas Goat vibes? Charleston say JG Judas Goat vibes. Farm Girl say yes, Judas Goat vibe. Crimson say Judas Goat. Betty said the Judas Goat. MG Smith say yes, Judas Goat. I thought some would disagree. What does that say about us if we're willing to call someone who made the ultimate, that made a great sacrifice? Are we just hating because he's a Medal of Honor winner? Remember, the greatest war hero in this country when it came to the battlefield, because his sacrifice was pivotal in winning the American Revolution. It wouldn't have been no America it wasn't for him, because if they was at the end, they was getting whooped by the British. And Benedict Arnold was the pivotal battle of Saratoga. He sacrificed when his men was running away, and he said something, I forget his statement. But remember, after they won the battle, he was a Judas Goat. He tried to get George Washington kidnapped. Guess where? At West Point, the same place that Mr. Gabe went to and taught at. Charles say Judas Goat. They heard of Judas Goat. So we got quite a few Judas Goat. Now, what veterans do you consider Judas Goat other than this individual? Would you consider Secretary of VA Doug Collins a Judas Goat? Preferable of Judas of goats, yes. Please, no one is jealous. Okay, now here we go. Yeah, that's right. Because they think we jealous. See, I know we not Betty Bops, but they think that we might be. Some people try to spin it and say we just hating on him because he has accolades that we don't have. He's one of the few people in the military ever on this planet that has a Medal of Honor, and he can say they just hating on me. Now listen. Now him winning the Medal of Honor wasn't just his action; it was a condition of history. He was at a certain place at a certain time. Nobody goes in the military to win a Medal of Honor. I didn't go in the military to do anything but serve my country. We don't go in there to win medals, earn medals. We're there to serve our country, all right, and make our family proud. Okay, this is Josie said, I respect his Medal of Honor. I just disagree with his thoughts about disability. Now, this is a more balanced. I like that. That's more balanced. But do you see him as a Judas goat, my brother? Josie, do you see him as a Judas goat? I don't know. Yes, indeed. Now, family, we're going to get back. Let me get back over here. I'm going to get back to where we was at. Now, family, and maybe it's too harsh, but we had to ask the question because the language sounds, him being in his position, he can influence a lot of people. It sounds kind of, like betraying veterans. But everybody's entitled to their opinions. But we don't have to take his Medal of Honor into consideration when it comes to our VA disability. But respect, I don't know anything about that goat. Got to Google it. You got to watch the video he did on Judas Goat. Yeah, Judas Goat is when someone on farms, they do this a lot. They'll take one goat because to get the goats to go through the thing where they get slaughtered, they have to have one goat go first where the rest of them would follow him. So they'd feed that goat more, take care of him, and bathe him. And what'll happen, that goat will go in and come out, but the rest of them go in, they trap him and kill him. They get the Judas goat, but they get them last. And they call that the goat that's Judas goat because they're betraying the other goats. Josie say, evening, Charleston. See you behaving tonight. Evening, Jay. Yes, indeed. Family, let's get to it. Now, the question, was Dakota Meyer Medal of Honor justified? Was Dakota Meyer, a Medal of Honor winner, justified in condemning monetary payments to disabled veterans? So I had to kind of modify because they wouldn't let me put so many words. So basically, was Dakota Meyer, the Medal of Honor winner, justified in condemning monetary payments to disabled veterans? Disabled veterans. I meant to put veterans. So let us know. Yes or no? Do you think his arguments justified his position? Yes or no? That's going to be your opinion. Was it justified? All right. Yes or no? Let me see. Was it justified? Did his arguments justify we not receiving our VA disability compensation? Yes or no? Okay. Josie say no. Betty Bob say no. Now, MG Smith say, Charleston, that's a good analogy. What was this analogy? I missed it. Okay, Coasty say, Jay, he says, please, I'm not jealous. Marine Medal of Honor winner, Medal of Honor, and Lieutenant Colonel, Dougie started this first blood. Yes, indeed. Dougie started. He drew first blood. And you're not going to be too happy because we got some information that we're going to cover on Pastor Dougie tonight. So, was he justified? Betty Bob say no. Charlton say no. M.G. Smith say no. In my opinion, he was not justified either, but everybody's entitled to their own opinion. We respect it. I got a little problem. I got somewhat of a problem respecting his, a lot of what he do. Because I don't think one got to do with the other, your Medal of Honor. Now, people go to the VA, whether it's the VBA because we need help, or the VHA, the VA healthcare system. Will Dougie trigger us? I don't know. Seemed like I didn't watch all of it because I like to do reaction, but we're going to see. I watched some of it. We go there because we need help. They say, ask us. But they saying, Mr. Dakota, the Medal of Honor winner, saying what? No. Sacrifice. Not suffering. We go to the VA because we're suffering. It's almost like he's discouraging us from going to get treatment. That sends mixed signals he need to clarify. And when we're going in there, yes, I don't think he's going to make so much tonight. We go to get treatment. That's not suffering to keep from suffering. To deal with our suffering, we go get treatment. And family, we need to stay on code and watch what we say. Now, Josie say, where is Dougie? He's been quiet. He only talks to certain people that gives him softball questions that he get to put his position out. Where is Dougie? Yes. Family, if the information has been informative, please smash that like button. We would appreciate it. Whether you're watching this live or recorded, we appreciate your support. Share this with others, family. We would appreciate that also, so the word can get out to other veterans, dependents of veterans, and family members. And subscribe, family. Our subscriptions are going up. We're going toward 2,500. We're not there yet, but we try to get to 3,000, family. And our ultimate goal now is 5,000. Then we go from 5 to 10,000. And when we go from 10,000, we're going to go to 50,000. And from 50,000, we want to go to 100,000. Family, we trying to make this thing work. Where is Dougie? He's been quiet. Yes, indeed. Betty Bob say 15 likes and 14 watching. Yes, indeed. I know we ain't covered the law, but we've covered it quite often. But tonight we're not covering the law. We'll be getting to it soon enough. Now we're going to get into the news section, okay? Family, we know that this is the new pay scale. So you can look and see your disability, how much you're going to be making on our next check for the January 1st check that we should get at the end of December. What is going to be that payday since Christmas happened and New Year's? Dougie is AWOL. Yes, indeed. We about to find out. Have you seen him? I think this happened maybe a day ago. So we're going to get into it, family. We're going to find out. Well, Secretary of the VA, Doug Collins, a.k.a. Dougie. We would call him Dougie Fresh, but Dougie not so fresh. Dougie not so smooth. We're going to find out what's going on here. What has he been doing? Okay. So family, we're going to be covering that today and we appreciate it. We're going to turn our music off, and we thank you. So that is the pay scale. You surprised about the pay scale? Turn that music off. We're going to thank you for being here. Thank you for your comments. They are greatly appreciated. And we're going to find out where Pastor Dougie and where he's been. Okay? Now, where's Dougie? Where has he been? Y'all have asked the question. I've asked the question. We about to have Dougie talks. We're going to find out. He's been doing interviews. Dougie is AWOL, said MG Smith. Charleston say Dougie Fresh Prince of VA. Oh, Fresh Prince of VA. Boy, y'all cutting up on it. Boy, y'all cutting up on it. So, family, we're going to watch a video. Fair use, fair use. This is for educational and informative purposes only. And this is covered under fair use. And we're using this information to inform veterans about their benefits and how the Secretary of the VA, the things he's saying, will impact those benefits in his mindset. This video is from Adam Goodman, host of 13th and Park. And you want to go over and watch the whole video, you can. As we said, fair use. It is. You wrong for that, baby face of Dougie. Now, so family, we're going to see what's been going on with Dougie. I believe this was a day ago from what it said. It may have been a couple of days. But, you know, sometimes they record the videos and may not put them out for, you know, a while. So let's get to the bottom of it and see what's going on here. Let's go over this. So this is Adam Goodman. He got to really like his background. Go over and watch the full video. It's about 16 minutes. We're exactly 16 minutes. Put speakers in the chat if you can hear it.
Become one of the most dynamic leaders in Washington, Doug Collins, the United States Secretary of Veterans Affairs, a former Air Force chaplain, and Georgia congressman. Collins has brought a combat zone sense of urgency to transforming how America treats its veterans.
He said a combat zone sense of emergency. Say speakers, it sound good from Josie. And Betty Bob says, yes, it sounds good. He said combat zone. Boy, I like the way he puts his videos together. I didn't know he was in the Air Force. He was an Air Force chaplain. Okay, I learned something a little more about Pastor Dougie.
Join me for a conversation about service, sacrifice, and what it should mean to come home. From Ballard Studios in the nation's capital, it's 13th and Park.
I never dreamed going into the White House. You risk.
All right, family, I guess that's his intro. We're going to kind of speed past that. Because here we go. Ted Nugent, that guy crazy.
Or it's behind me yet, but you know, I'm sure they're coming.
I'm so glad to be here on 13th and Park.
All right, family, let's get to it. Ain't nothing to do but to do it. Let's get
Mr. Secretary, great to have you on the show today. I'm really impressed by people that have given themselves to serve this country as you have, but you've had a very interesting journey where you went from being pastor to a military chaplain to a member of Congress and now, of course, the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. Is there?
Let me see what award he got there. Like I said, I
member of Congress and now, of course, the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. Is there like a thread that links all?
Hold on, let me go.
And now, of course, as you, people that have given themselves to serve this country as you have, but you've had a very interesting journey. where you went from being pastor to a military.
What is that? He got something. What is that medal? A meritorial service medal? I don't know what that is. What is that? What is that medal? I think I heard. I see he was a major. He had a high rank in the military. That was Peter Nero. Okay. G. Smith say, Jose, the night is young yet Charleston is still getting warmed up. But you see how friendly Pastor Doug is right now, so he shouldn't aggravate nobody. And this seemed like this guy gonna be asking softball questions. I don't know, but we're gonna see. Let's do it.
Military chaplain to a member of Congress, and now, of course, the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. Is there like a thread that links all those experiences together where people say, well, on reflection, yeah, that makes sense that he's where he should be?
See, this is another thing. A lot of these other guys, as somebody said earlier, may be jockeying for the same route to get to Congress, to get to the Senate. Yes, the House and the Senate and Congress. So think about it. If he did it from the military, a lot of them, remember 18% of Congress are veterans. So guess what? That could be like a road to it. If you have the right declarations, rub the right elbows, make the right statements. Okay? Now let's see what Pastor Doug is talking about.
Yeah, I believe it's God's hand. I mean, I say that some people think that's a casual statement, but I don't believe it to be a casual statement. I believe if you look at my life and you look at a life of service, I believe that's where I was headed. My dad was a Georgia State Trooper for 30-something years. My mom took care of senior adults and took care of us. And I saw that just lived out in their examples of public service, that there's something about being a part of this country that, just draws you to lead. And the way you lead is by helping others. So for me, going from a life and say, I can take a little bit of my life. So anybody listen to this podcast,
family. This is the same word the Medal of Honor winner was using. Lead, lead, lead. Take control, responsibility. Follow the example. He followed the example of his parents, which all sounds good, but you keep hearing this word lead. Now listen to what Charles say. I think that is a Iraq Theater Service Medal ribbon. It looks for me, but I don't know if I got that one. That may be the new Iraq War. I don't know. It looks for me. I don't know if I have it. I ain't gonna lie to you. Might be something else. I don't want to be doing stolen valor because I don't remember it having those words on it. So let's continue.
I want to encourage you. The old words of Theodore Roosevelt: bloom where you're planted. Because I can look back over my life and see, working in business early on where I thought I was going to law school and I ended up in business and going.
Bloom where you're planted. Are you a plant? Are you a plant? Let's do a meeting to plant.
Going into seminary and I get my master's and pastoring for 11 years, then going to law school, getting elected to office, getting elected to Congress, and now.
So he pastored for 11 years, went to law school, got elected to Congress, huh? This is Pastor Dougie. He's laying out his credentials, fam. Come on now. What credentials you gonna lay out, huh? To get to Congress. Let's talk about it.
Being here, I see bits and pieces of that drive me every day. As a secretary of VA right now, I'm a better secretary of the VA because of my 11 years of pastoring. I'm a better secretary because of my 8 years in Congress. I'm a better secretary because of spending 4 or 5 years on the road, selling.
Selling. He a better secretary because he's selling. What is he selling to us? What is Pastor Dougie selling us? Do you believe him to be a better secretary than past secretaries? He's more popular. I really didn't know much about the last ones. He's least more visible. more vocal, wouldn't you have to give that to him? Do you consider him to be more effective or just as effective as past Secretary of the VA? Let us know how you feel. He seemed to be tooting his own horn.
I think it's just all a matter of coming through. So the single thread, though, is being personal, knowing how to relate a message, knowing how to win people over, how to work with them, but also make decisions. And I think God just sort of led me along that path.
Now, I kind of agree with that. He do know how to win people over. He's had an effect on me with his down-to-earth Southern communication, but some of his statements have been problematic. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, but I'm still listening to what you're saying. How y'all feel about it, family? Let's continue to listen. If anything stands out, let us know in the chat, or something that surprises you, or you say,
You've said before that it's kind of the credo, it seems, for your service now as Veteran Secretary, that you want to meet veterans where they are.
Yes.
What does that mean?
That means going to them. We have this real problem in government that government pops up something and we expect people to just, naturally be drawn, or we have a program that is something that we expect them to take part in and view it as if they don't, that it's their fault. Well, veterans are different in that respect, in that they've earned the benefits that we've had. They're not anything based on anything else except one thing. They raised their right hand. They said, I'm willing to go do what others, almost 98% of this country, is not going to do. And that is serving our military. And one of the things.
So what do you think he mean about, because he ain't been clear yet, what do you mean by coming to the veteran? Does he have town halls where we can go talk to him? Does he have where the average veteran? Because a lot of Congress people say that he don't let them come to VA no more. Like, I remember what's his name? Al Green, the congressman down here, and Sheila Jackson Lee. You would see them before she passed. You would see, because I'm from Houston. You would see them in the VA, and he would talk to me and everything. And he's a congressman. They take time and he talked to you. He wouldn't try to just push you off. He'd ask me questions. And I appreciate that. I'm not saying he was going to do anything to help us. I wish I'd had the knowledge that I have now. But he did ask, hey, where did you serve? And what's going on? And I had asked her, I saw her at a church before she passed, Sheila Jackson Lee. And I told her about what she's doing for veteran benefits. She went right off on it and said the things. I said, okay. I wish I'd have been more informed. I could have asked her more specific, but this was before the internet was really pronounced. Does he really reach out like that, in your opinion?
To set this apart for me is death by suicide numbers in this country of veterans, whether it be 17 to 40 range.
So now, wow, family. So let's see how this goes. The U.S. military suicide crisis: share of veterans who have considered taking their own lives before and after joining the U.S. military. Prior to service, only 6% in 2014. After they joined, since they joined the service, 31%. In 2015, prior to service, 6%. After they joined, 40%. My Lord. In 2017, they did this research again. 5% before they joined the military thought about harming themselves, taking their life. After, 37%. Oh boy, do you see how it's getting worse? In 2018, 9% thought about it before joining the military, and afterward, 43% thought about taking their own lives after they joined the military. In 2020, 10% thought about harming themselves before joining the military. Remember, at that time, we had the pandemic going on. Afterward, 44%. 2021, before they joined the military, 9% of those before they joined the military enlisted thought about harming themselves, taking their own life. And after they joined the military, 44%. What is going on? We're going to do research on this, and we're going to cover this, family. because this is a big issue. Now listen to what Brother Charles say. Pastor Dougie good at tooting his own horn, not shy. I guess being an officer gives you that. Sorry, Crimson alumni, sir. Yeah, you not all officers do that, but that does happen. Now, because I've had some old crazy NCOs too now. But this man, I don't know, he's a different kind of beast there. Let's continue.
However you want to cut the number. What we found out was we're spending $500 million over that for preventative services to try and keep people from that area. But yet 60% of those who did actually complete that tragic end were not touched by the VA in some way. So that told me we were talking to the choir. And so we've got to get out to where they are. That's why we do podcasts. That's why we do interviews all the time. That's why I go to sporting events. That's why we've done game day. And we're getting ready, hopefully, to do some stuff with UFC and some others as we go, because that's where we know that veterans are. I had a great
I guess veterans go to UFC. Okay. Maybe they want to come talk to us at the VA. Maybe they want to come to veterans somewhere where they'll feel more comfortable talking outside the VA. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. But I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but you know, I need you need to address why veterans are even taking their lives at the VA hospital itself. This is a serious issue.
Past weekend, spending time with veterans who just deployed and came back, and older veterans in Pittsburgh. It was just a fabulous time.
But it really brings it back for you, doesn't it? Because you can really put yourself in their shoes, right?
Yes.
You know, and know exactly what they experienced, what they hope to come back to, which of course is where the challenge begins for a lot of veterans, doesn't it?
It's like they asking questions that's circular, in my opinion. So we have Betty Bob says, the reason of the rise after the military, when you are out of the military, you get treated like dirt and non-existent. You become invisible. That's right. Ending with low and job, barely supporting self. VA is no help. That was my experience. If you had a similar experience as Betty, put one in the chat. Some of us did not, but I did. If you didn't, you don't have to say you did. Where that was my experience, Betty. I was treated like dirt. That's how. Now, Crimson Alumni Force say Pastor Dougie is full of horse manure. Now cow manure. So how did y'all deal with that? When I got out, I was treated like dirt, just like Betty Bob's. So was Charleston family. I wonder how Pastor Dougie was treated when he got out of the military. And I guess you can call us hating again, right? Are we hating? Or are we just jealous because he was able to do things that we weren't? No, we got no problem with people being successful, but don't mistreat us.
Oh, it does. Transition back home, whether it be transition back home from a deployment, which I have been on. I just mentioned those veterans in Pittsburgh I talked with the other day. We were talking about deployments. I was able to turn to one of the colonels, and lieutenant colonels, and he was sitting there, and we were talking about it. And I said, "We all still on that new deployment cycle, wing deployment cycle?" I knew what they were talking about because I've done it. And he said, and then we sort of laughed because, of course, the Air Force changes the deployment cycle again in the way they're doing it. But it was something we could relate to. So it was not just a cabinet official standing there and with the national anthem. It was something we could relate to. And he told me, he said, "Well, I'm getting ready to be with y'all in about 6 months. I'm retiring next spring." I said, "Hey, we're ready." And so it's a good thing when you can relate. I call it navigating. Navigating is when you take the lead and you know where you're going because you've been there. And we need a lot of that in our government, and especially with our veterans. They need to know that we respect those who've been in the.
Boy, there's a whole bunch of words. Hold on, I gotta hear that again. I couldn't make no sense out of it. It's a lot of vagary with his words to me. Let me know if you can make sense of this. I'm starting to feel like Prince Alumni 4.
Okay.
Is when you take the lead and you know where you're going, because
Isn't that what take the lead? Isn't that the same thing that the Medal of Honor winner, Dakota Meyer keeps saying? Take the lead. Now Dougie said, take the lead. And y'all ask the question, how can you take the lead when you're following orders? How can we take the lead in the VA hospital when we're not in control? How can we take the lead at the VA benefits with our VA benefits when a raider is over it? How can we lead when we have to follow the rules that they set? I just don't get it. Am I confused? And then MG Smith says, real talk, Betty, that was my experience too, the struggle. Now listen, Charles to say, what Pittsburgh did I hear Dougie right? Yes. You wasn't notified, Brother Charleston? Now listen here. So we got our Betty Bob say, once again, I am not hating. But you know, that's what they would say. I'm not hating either, but we speaking the truth. I believe you. I know y'all speaking from the heart, but people try to say, oh, they just hating on them. No, we speaking our mind. My husband was lucky. He was IT. He set himself smartly to be at NSA when he retired. Guess that's NASA, right? My husband saw how getting out at the wrong place will get you a low ball pay job. Yes, indeed. I got out in Virginia. It wasn't nothing going on when I got out.
because you've been there. And we need a lot of that in our government, and especially with our veterans. They need to know that we respect those who've been in the same places and done the same things, you know, sort of been in the same mud, if you would.
Well, there's so many issues.
Hold on. We respect those that's been to the same places and been in the same mud, regardless of whether you've been. What if they wasn't in the mud at all? What if they were out in the middle of the ocean? What if they were in the air? I think we supposed to respect all veterans, but maybe I may have misquoted him. Now listen to what Josie said, because this is a scripted, organized attack on veteran and VA disability. Yes, indeed, scripted. Yes, it is. Ain't that funny? They use that word. We need to lead and want veterans to lead. They keep using this here. I want veterans to be properly compensated. We can't lead in an organization that we're not in charge of. He's the one supposed to be leading, but he's quiet on what's going on with the Washington Post attacking us, with other veterans attacking us, with Congress attacking us. And he's talking about us leading. What about the leaders who are misrepresenting us and other so-called people I'm a veteran, so I speak for other veterans. What about our voice?
Is obviously that are on your plate: housing, employment, healthcare. To you, what's maybe first up in terms of your priorities that you really want to go after, and maybe basically send a message to every veteran that we have your back?
That's an easy one.
What do you think the first thing he's going to go after? Housing? What do you think he's about to say that his priority is? Housing, VA disability compensation, healthcare. What do you think he's going to say? I'm going to round that back a little bit. Now let's see. Charleston say, Dougie think only land troops are veterans deployed overseas in theater. Yeah, that's not the only people. We rest opposers. That's out of control. I hear you, brother. That is something else. Now let's see what he's talking about.
And done the same things, sort of been in the same mud, if you would.
Well, there's so many issues, obviously, that are on your plate: housing, employment, health.
Housing, employment, and healthcare. What do you think he's going to talk about is the priority? Housing, employment, healthcare. Housing, employment, healthcare, not VA disability claims. Nothing dealing with compensation. This guy, interestingly, did not bring up VA compensation, giving the economic state that our country is in, and veterans are homeless and suffering financially, losing their jobs, losing their VA loans that have VA homes that have VA home loans on them. Come on now. Now, listen to what Crimson Alumni Force say. He's been tweeting about electronic health records, modernization, and VA wait times, because that don't have nothing to do with compensation, in my opinion.
Care to you, what's maybe first up in terms of your priorities that you really want to go after, and maybe basically send a message to every veteran that we have your back?
That's an easy one. You made a lot of program issues there, and I agree with all of those. Yes, I would say yes to all of those. But the first thing we've had to do, and we're just getting there, we've had a great year so far, the VA employee has done a great job, is we had to just rechange the mindset of the VA, that it's about a veteran, it's not about our.
Now they go to all this spiritual stuff, intangible stuff, change the mindset of the VA. How can we measure that the mindset of the VA has been changed when he might say one thing one day and something else the next day? He might say one day we're not going to touch veteran benefits, which he said. Then the next day he's talking about pausing VA appeals, and a veteran federal judges denied him doing that. So one minute he say on our side, the next minute he's trying to limit the benefits that he say he wouldn't limit. So what is a mindset? Let's get to I can't measure mindset, in my opinion.
Organization. I mean, we're almost as bad as the old court from my lawyer days. The courts will act on precedent. Well, this is the way I was taught. This is the way done. Whether it actually affected the veteran or not in a positive way. So
Whoa, that's scary. He's a lawyer. You supposed to do things based on precedent, meaning the body of law that got us to this point. He's saying that they want to do stuff that's not based on law or precedent. That means he want to do something new outside the law. Kind of things that Lieutenant Colonel Gage talking about. Not paying veterans, not compensating veterans, treating veterans instead of compensating. And with the Medal of Honor winner Dakota, get rid of VA disability altogether. Don't reward pain. Treat it, but don't reward it. Watch out now.
Done that to say we're about the veteran, and if it works for the veteran, then that's what we're going to be looking at doing. So I think for me, it's the mindset at the top. It's about the standard. The standard will always be the standard. The standard for us is helping veterans. So from there, those issues that you just talked about programmatically are then based off that one standard, so that we know when we go out, our organization is built for one purpose, and that's to take care of veterans.
He ain't said nothing. They wanted 10. He's supposed to be an officer. He's supposed to be a leader. The man was asking for tangible strategy. Well, so we have the same mindset. We're going to take care of veterans. How does that change? How does that translate? Having the same mindset translate into actionable results? Somebody let me know. Yeah, I just waiting for the subject to come up about the mushrooms. Boy, MG Smith cutting up. I'll be the yeah.
in those many different facets.
Is there one you're hearing more about than the others? I mean, housing's affecting, of course, every American. Healthcare affects every American. But are you hearing more about one in particular these days that you're really going after?
He don't want to. Let's see if he dodge again. He asked him about these, and he wouldn't answer. He said it's a mindset. Let's see if he used the same mindset approach.
Really depends. I think there's certain areas. I mean, healthcare is a growing need among our veterans.
It depends. He don't even have a plan to target which part of the VA situation, disability, healthcare, housing. It depends. That's not a straight answer from a leader. It depends. It's not an answer.
And being able to know.
Depends are diapers. It depends. No.
I get direct care service, but also community care service, which the president is very much on. He signed the Mission Act during his first term, and it got put on the hold during the Biden administration. Now we're bringing it back so that veterans can get quicker care, access to community doctors, plus the direct care. Housing, our homelessness issues. The president is also signed an executive order for homelessness that we're implementing in West LA, but we're also doing that all over the country with our hospitals reaching out into their communities to find veterans who need housing, getting into temporary shelters where need be. Of course,
now I must admit, I don't know if I think I saw this in real time. I may have seen some, or was that on television? I saw some veteran people out there looking for some of the homeless people. I forget. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know. Remember, I saw this on television or in person because there's so many homeless in Houston, and I thought I saw some VA employees. So how did I know? I don't know. Maybe that was on TV. That's how I know. Oh, I saw the car or something. But I saw two VA employees out there with the homeless. I don't know if it was a photo op or not. Then Charleston say Dougie has concepts of several plans. Where have I heard that? Oh Lord. Concepts, several plans. Yes. Concept plans, no action, nothing that's actionable.
We've already mentioned suicide, the mental health issues there that go along with that. That's a rising concern. But there's also a concern, and I just want to express it to those maybe listening to this podcast. Judge the VA as a healthcare system, especially our biggest part of us is a healthcare system, not this unique, special kind of healthcare system that Congress sometimes seems to want to think we are so that they can make political points about what we do. But we're the same as all the other major healthcare systems.
Okay, that's the second time he threw shade. He threw shade at former President Biden. He's not the president now. Now he's throwing shade at Congress. At some point, you got to lead and stop pointing the finger at other people, in my opinion. Now, Betty Bob says, H-Town, that was on the news about the homeless veterans and VA employees. Okay. Yeah, because I know I saw it somewhere. That's why I didn't want to be lying, because I don't remember, family. Thank you.
Still have the same struggles, and that is, finding new doctors, finding new nurses, finding those kind of folks in the clinical side that everybody has the issue with. So it's sort of frustrating at times.
They keep talking about healthcare. What about that VA compensation? Are they going to get to that? I'm watching this in real time with you. I don't know, family. Because this is kind of
members of Congress say, well, why are you having not being able to hire all these doctors? And I want to simply ask them, I said, have you went to your private and public health care systems in your district and asked them the same question? Because they have the same question. And
listen, the private hospitals are not under the control of him, the Secretary of VA. He's the Secretary of VA. You can't blame what's going on in the private sector on your lack of information that they need. Come to me, you say what? H-Town, you supposed to cut my grass. Why you haven't cut it yet? Well, the other guy to cut, you got to go over there to see what that guy cutting grass over there. See, that's why, don't focus just on me. He not cutting grass either. What that got to do with the price of tea in China? Come on now.
Actually, in many areas, we're doing better than they are.
So in many areas? What are these many areas that you're doing better than the private sector? He talking in a circular thing. In many areas, what is many areas? He's saying, using a whole bunch of words, saying nothing. No specifics. And when they try to tie him down at the and this image is amazing because he's looking there knowing he's trying to use all his talking points.
It must help having a president who is built for speed and wants to change.
They keep going back to President Trump, but he's responsible as the Secretary of VA. I don't know why he keep deferring to the president who he says is working with them. So if the president is working with you, you should be able to get results and show the veteran community results. Now listen what Brother Charleston say. This is why I have a December 5th appointment at the VA with new doctor in 2 years. Oh God. Now you need to get that changed. Now you need to complain about that. Send something to the Secretary of the VA. And that ain't no joke. Seems like he should be able to reach out to him. That's unacceptable. What's your patient advocate said about that, brother?
Right. You must have more of an open playing field to do these kinds of things you're talking about, perhaps than other secretaries have had before you.
We do. I worked with this president back when I was in Congress because we had to go through the Russia hoax and all that other, crap when I was in there, the impeachment stuff. So I've worked with him for a long time and worked with the team in the 4 years that he was out. So it was really 8 years getting ready for a new 4 years. And I think what he's
8 years getting ready for a new 4 years. So what was you getting done? Where the results at? All he talking about, I'm a fanboy of President Trump. Yeah, I know him, Trump. He doing a lot of name dropping. Yeah, I was part of his entourage. Come on, man. I sent a prayer request to Pastor Doug. He said, prayer request, you out of control, man.
Came into and he told me to simply say, let's take care of veterans. It's made it a lot easier for me because all I have to do is say, I'm taking care of the veteran. I'm showing him in a cost-efficient manner. I'm showing it in a efficiency standard and saying, here's what we need to do. And so when I talk to him and I bring,
here's what we need to do. What is here? What we need to do. What is here? What we need to do. What is that? What are you doing?
Him stuff. It's very good. He looks at me and he says, okay, Doug, I get it. Let's do it. And
well, that's real simplistic. Okay, Doug. I hear. Let's do it. That's what he wants us to say. Okay, Pastor Dougie. Pastor should have come out after that hearing and defended veterans. Instead, he was silent. And now he's avoiding the whole issue of them attacking us. For those that are watching live and recorded, we're talking about the hearing where they talked about they allowed individuals to speak negatively about veteran disability benefits. And they had so-called other veterans up there talking about we shouldn't get it, that we're victims and all this other garbage. And he was nowhere to be found. Have you seen Pastor Dougie? And now that he's visible, he ain't saying nothing now about the horrible things they said about veterans having VA compensation, the attacks from the Washington Post and another newspaper also, the attack from veterans. Now listen, we have 17 likes and 12 watching. Thank you, Betty Boss, for that information. So MG Smith says, for those that don't know, Mike Smith is MG Smith. The computer just changes. Google had done some changes, or YouTube. Now, says, I've been saying from the very beginning, these people are not qualified. They're the most unqualified administration. Wow. Who's guarding the farm? Who guarding the hen house? Vin Olive is in the house. Say hello, everyone. Show love to Vin Olive. Somebody put a few hearts in the chat. Put a few hearts in the chat for Vin Olive. Forum girl say hi, Vin. We're gonna have to put some hearts right there. Now here we go. Charleston say situation normal. Vest. I'm trying to be serious. I'm trying to be serious. Now I ain't trying to be insensitive. Charleston, you too much, man. Hold on. Charleston, you might say anything, man. Your information is powerful, but the way you deliver is amazing. Something else. He say situation normal. Vets thrown under the bus. 2025 issue. 2025 issue, man. You something else. And they say how to Vin, showing they throwing them hearts out there. Show them hearts. Show some love to Vin Olive. Yes, indeed. Throw them hearts, family. Show some love. Yes, indeed. Now, here we go. Y'all a mess, man. Y'all said whether we should have had a try to predict if Dougie was gonna, not Dougie Charleston gonna when he's gonna start cutting up.
And so it's and I don't have to bring a lot to him. He just says go do it. And him and Susie Wiles as chief, she has been.
He don't have to bring a lot to him. He just say go do it. Does this sound like professional business?
And wonderful to work with as well. So we get to make the changes need to happen.
You've said before, we need more people who run.
He say we need to make the changes. It need to happen. What does that mean? Josie showing love to Vin Olive. So does Betty Bob, say MG Smith, fire, love, all that. Everybody showing love to each other.
Toward the fire, not toward the cameras, right? What that is another way of saying leaders who are willing to make tough decisions. Is there an example of that, in your first number of months on the job where you had to kind of make that kind of call knowing it's not an easy one?
Yeah, there's been several instances where we've had to just, make the call to say, look, we're not staffed in the right way. We did not have to end up riffing anybody or laying anybody off, but we offered a.
Oh, I need, Brother Charleston, I need clarification. Are those hearts for Pastor Dougie or for those hearts for Vin Olive? I'm being messy, Brother Charleston. I'm being messy. Oh, man. Betty Bob say, Dougie using a Michael Jackson song. What's that Michael Jackson song he was using?
A pretty large early retirement program in which we protected almost all of our healthcare workers and said, no, you can't be a part of this. Is it always hard to see people leave and to take part? Yes, it is. But it also goes back to the issue is what were we doing? Was it affecting a veteran? And I think that's the big key. Also, we've had to make calls on, what programs we're going to have, those kind of things that have worked out. So the biggest thing, though, is training our workers here to realize accountability matters. Mm-hmm. And that you may have friends that you've worked with, but if they're not doing the job, they either need to be retrained to the job or it's time for them to leave. And I think those are always tough decisions that need to be made. We want to keep everyone, but we also want everybody working to a standard that says we're doing the very best that we possibly can. It's time for
What's the standard very best? How do you measure very best you can? Have you got any concrete knowledge out of this this interview? Vin Olive, love. Now I know it's for Vin. I'm just messing with you, man. I'm sorry. I'm just having fun. I'm sorry if it wasn't.
Views after the fact, but in the first, when things are going where they need to, I need people who are willing to make decisions. And we've given our senior leadership something they've never had.
I need people that's willing to make decisions. What kind of decisions? Decisions about what? MG Smith say, Betty, you're making me blush. Yes, indeed, family.
Allowed them to make decisions on a local hospital level and district level and said, look, you make the decisions. If you're doing it for the right reasons, we're going to have your back. We may have to change, a few things later, but we want to make sure you're actually doing what you need to do.
How do you see technology, especially
doing what you need to do?
AI, changing the way you can reach and effectively serve veterans?
it's going to be an interesting way to look at it. For us, it's very.
I hope he gives us a concrete answer about AI and the VA healthcare and benefit system. He ain't talking about benefits at all.
Sensitive. I mean, there's a lot of concern on the Hill and other places that you don't want to go to this mindless sort of AI perspective where things are decided without human input because we're dealing with veterans' lives and they're very complicated. But we can really help us in different ways, such as our comprehensive exams, those exams in which we're looking to actually cut down greatly the need for sending the veteran to a doctor to say, yes, this is what you have, this is service connected, because a lot of that is actually already in the file itself. And if we can use.
Now, I have to give him that one, that a lot of times if they have AI go through the medical records and find the evidence, they don't have to go to a CMP exam. Because them people, the VA representative, what a lot of them weren't going through all the medical records. But sometimes that AI can be ineffective now. Remember, AI was made by human beings. Mike say, Betty, I really appreciate it. Let's see. Okay, let us continue. We're about, I say we got about 7 more minutes.
Use technology to help us look at that, having to get that information to humans who can say, yes, let's just move them on through. We don't have to spend that. We could save literally billions of dollars by cutting some of that out. It also helps us with, processing educational benefits, processing home loans. Those are the kind of things that will always be there. And then you have the intangibles, which are really exciting, is how they can actually help us in our healthcare. Doctors across the country, across different healthcare systems, are using AI and radiology and a lot of others.
I don't know what he meant by the word intangible, because helping with medical procedures is a tangible thing. I don't know helping with intangibles. I don't know what he meant by that. Maybe it just went over my head. AI helping with medical procedures is a tangible benefit to me. Maybe I missed something. Charles say, Dougie said outside doctors should not determine service-connected disability in house VA. No, they should. What's the difference between? Okay, let's get something straight. We can't get the VA doctors to say whether we service connected or not. So how can they say we can't go to the outside doctors? Remember how easy it is to get. Can you get your doctor to fill out a DBQ, your VA doctor to do that? You're going to have to go to an outside doctor. Now, so that's kind of problematic if he said that, Brother Charles. No private DBQs. Right. Well, they refer to as public DBQs from private doctors. Sorry for the confusion language, but they're actually public. Now, Betty Boss, AMG Smith, you are loved. Yes, indeed. We need to encourage each other, family.
That have been shown to really enhance care in what we're doing. So there's a lot of ways we can do it, but there's always be the human touch there as well here at the VA. I
like quoting you, by the way, a lot. So I'm gonna throw something.
How you measure the human touch? Do you feel like you've been touched differently since he's been the Secretary of the VA? Doug Collins, have you felt the human touch? And let's continue.
At you that you said before, you said, if you've worn the uniform of this country, you've already done more for America than most will ever be asked to do. Yeah, the reality of your situation and where you're serving today is you have.
Yeah, those are statements, but to me, that's a nothing burger. Okay, that's 2 pieces of bread and no beef in the middle. That's a nothing burger. What is that supposed to mean? How that translates into compensation, into treatment, and the proper support that we need. Everybody show love to Dog-Faced Soldier. He say, what's going on, my veteran family, and my brother H-Town, good content today. Thank you. Good to have you here, brother. Now listen to what Charles is saying. I've been touched by several people, always lose money. Oh, yeah. They be doing the 5-finger discount. They you get touched. Now listen, they take that money from you. Pickpocket. Farm girl say, hi, Dogface Soldier, good evening. Everybody show love to Dogface. Good evening, my brother Dogface Soldier. We so glad that you're here. And thank you. And I appreciate your compliment about the topic for tonight. Now listen, Betty Bob say, what human touch? They are still nasty when you check in, and the staff are still liars at the VA hospital. I can't disagree with none of what she said. And then Dogface Soldier, hello from I finally realized what the DFS stands for now. Y'all know I'm not good with acronyms. Now, Dogface Soldier, love. Yes, indeed. Go ahead from Brother Charleston. Let's do this.
Veterans coming from different generations.
Yep.
And to try to figure out how do we best serve those who served in Vietnam, and then fast forward to those who recently come back, say, from Afghanistan. How do you kind of square that out? So
they don't even, this is another thing. What about the veterans that are here? Why you keep talking about just Afghanistan and Vietnam, and you have veterans that served during peacetime, veterans that served? Come on, man. Oh, Lord, I don't know what to say about it. This is confusing me. That's back to that only one segment of veterans should be focused on or prioritized. Not cool. Dollface Soldier said, Dougie looks like he'll be in How to Catch a Predator. Hopefully he'll be the interviewer. Now, MG Smith, for a side note, brother Dollface Soldier, the reason they stopped it because they caught a what do you call it? Not the district attorney, but the vice district attorney of a county. He was trying to lure boys to his house, and they caught him doing that. And when they do an episode of To Catch a Predator, they were going in the house. He took his own life, and that's kind of what messed up the whole program after that. Even though he was doing a crime, he didn't want to go to jail for it. Now, Betty Bob say, H-Town, it's a easier topic for Dougie can lie about. Yes. Or talk around and lie, make up whatever. He sounds like a used car salesman sometimes. And being a pastor, I wonder what kind of spiritual advice he gave.
So all veterans are getting kind of the same treatment, the same service that they deserve.
I think it's understanding our again, what is our target audience? Our target audience is one group of people, veterans, period. That's all we have to serve. So you've hit an interesting point. I brought this up to senators in my confirmation that we're really dealing with several different groups right now. We still have World War II veterans. We have Korea veterans. We have Vietnam veterans into the early 80s, sort of that silent Cold War kind of issue. They have more traditional needs. They understand the traditional VA, the VSO structure. They relate to that. You start getting into Desert Storm, GWAT, now those are the Gen X generation, the millennial generation, which are much more independent, much more non-joiners. So you have to.
Okay, here's the thing. He's continually basing it on war. Much of my experiences with the VA hospital, they don't really talk about me being in no war. That only comes up when that don't really come up much when I'm in therapy. I mean, literally, I don't sit around talking about no war at the VA. That's my God. Maybe some when I was filing for disability. That's about it. We don't go over there unless I just don't get this focus on war. They talk about mindset. That's a wrong mindset. in my opinion. Now, Charleston say Pastor Lawyer, Dougie should have his own TV show. Yes, indeed. And you wouldn't get nothing out after you left.
To look at how they affect, but you also have, frankly, in some of our GWAT generation, more injuries of catastrophic injuries, multi-trauma injuries. They were coming back without arms and legs in many cases, living longer, healthier lives, even after that fact, but having to deal with the after effects of their injuries. So whereas they might have passed away in previous conflicts, they're now living. So it's changed how we adapt. Toxic exposure, a lot of those things have changed. So it's basically just adapting to the needs and the areas of where our veterans are living. And I think our doctors are doing a pretty good job of that, but it's just reaching out differently. I can reach a Vietnam veteran much more in one way than I can a GWAT veteran. They just respond differently.
So I've heard you keep to this.
And just ignoring other veterans, just these are kind of small groups. They just I don't understand them. You say, H-Town, see what I'm talking about? Yeah, I wow, which one? There's so many points.
Very day. Paracord bracelets and dog tags of fallen service members you personally met. Is that your reminder of where you are? And
these are all props to me. That I respect the service of people, but don't dog tags and if you're doing that, that's good, representing the soldiers, but
paracord bracelets and dog tags of
I don't know what the point is. H-Town, all the points. Yes, I see what you're talking about, because this is something else. He walking around with veteran dog tags. I hope you're doing something to help those veterans, not just stir up emotions. Because we care about veterans and fallen veterans.
Fallen service members you personally met. Is that your reminder?
You remember, that was our last video where we talked about a fallen veteran that he refused to mention. I haven't heard him mention. The Marine, Jordan, who, when he went to the VA for help, they tackled him. Now, he's not talking about him, Pastor Dougie.
Of where you are and who you serve and a mission, because, it's all about mission first. Is that how you just keep grounded?
And that is definitely one of the ways. I have a paracord bracelet that was given to me by a young security forces airman in Iraq. And she gave it to me because she said, you're always giving us something and I want to give you something. And it reminds me of everyone that I've served with, both deployed and non. I keep my dog tags out. If you were to come to my office at this very second, you would see on top of one of my coin cases, those two pieces of memorabilia, if you want to call it that, but they're reminders of why we do what we do. And I keep those kind of things around to remind us that we do this because of the person who's not there. And I encourage all of our departments to remember, you may be making decisions about your departments in terms of your department, but remember there's somebody that you're going to be serving that's not in that meeting. And that's who you need to be looking at. And that's that veteran that we're supposed to serve.
Is there still a story that kind of rumbles through your soul that is, again, a grounding element in your life?
I think there's many. Yeah.
That's why they call it the Department of War. This is crazy. Hero worship, H-Town. This is what I talking about. Only living whole. Oh, Lord. Yeah, hero worship. I don't understand that. I don't feel like a hero. I feel like a veteran. I feel like that I'm a part of a veteran group that I need. I need all of you. I need your encouragement. I don't need my ego stroked. I can't do nothing with that. Now, many of those veterans that take their lives have declarations and they don't want hero worship. They want to be heard and helped. I think they're kind of missing the point on some of these things.
I actually have a two-part story. I was in the Navy for a short time as a chaplain candidate out in San Diego at Camp Pendleton, got to serve with the Marines. And then I got out for about 6-7 years, I guess it was, and then came back into the Air Force right about 2002. So within that first year, we lost a Black Hawk helicopter who went down from Moody Air Force Base. And I can remember that being one of the first big televised sort of memorials that happened. And I was a part of.
Yes, listen what our brothers say. I survived active duty like Carl Brochure. Active duty is a dangerous thing for all veterans. If it wasn't, they would not give VA compensation for all of the horrific things that happen while you're in the military. Many of the maneuvers and missions that we complete stateside in Germany or wherever can be extremely dangerous. Getting things to those on the front line is dangerous. Come on, man. Respect to Carl Brashear and his service and his family. And respect to you, Charleston, and your service, brother. All what y'all do matter.
That, and I can still very vividly remember the families and the service that went with that and how it really just shook that community, all the way to deployment times where I watched some of the best and brightest this country has to offer. I got to have dinner with them in the middle of the night in the desert as we laughed and talked about home. Those are kind of stories that really come back to me. But there was one in particular that really got to me. And you got to remember back in 2008, there was this young airman, and I came to a gate one night, and there was nobody at the gate. Well, I waited. We're on the other side of the base. Nobody came. And so I started looking around. So like, well, did everybody go home and forget me? And about that time, this young A1C comes out of the back. And he's, "Oh, chap, I'm sorry, sir. I apologize." I said, "Well, I'm okay. You don't have to say anything to me, but if the captain had come by, you'd have been in trouble." And he starts laughing. And then I said, "What were you doing?" Because as a chaplain, I get to sort of mentor and sort of correct them without them feeling like, "Hey, I'm getting ready to have things done." So I said, "What were you doing?" And he said, "Well, last year before I entered," and he hadn't been in but about a little over a year or so, my dad did construction. We didn't have a lot because there was no work, and my brother and sister didn't get anything for Christmas. And he said, "Now that I'm making big money," and I always thought this was hilarious. Here's an A1C, making big money. He said, "I was making my budget out." And he said, "Here's how much I needed." And he said, "I was wanting to make sure that I could send enough home so I could get my sister, who was starting college, a computer. And he wanted to get a bicycle for one of his brothers." And that just epitomized to me. I drove away, even to this day, with sort of tears in my eyes, thinking that's the people that join. That's the people that serve us. So
he goes around meeting people that it's always story time with him. That's why the General Scion, what is that? Tell me what that means.
All those people out there who want to hate on veterans, this secretary, that don't fly real well, because that's the best and brightest.
So what if it's the veterans hating on other veterans? What if it's Congress hating on veterans? You saying all these people, what if it's, won't you name it? Why won't he put a name to it? Who's hating on veterans? He just say all those people. Put a name to the ones, the Washington Post. Put a name to the ones that are saying horrible things about veterans and called us fraudsters and all those type of things.
He didn't have to go anywhere. He chose to raise his hand, and out there in the middle of the desert, even in the middle of the night, he was thinking about other people. That's what I find with so many veterans all the time.
Well, very clearly, Mr. Secretary, this is not about policy. It's a personal thing for you,
very much.
Serving veterans. And I really appreciate that. And we all appreciate, of course, your service. And we all understand that if this nation truly values its veterans, they've got to show that. And they should show that every day. We're so happy you're leading this effort now.
Okay, they just tooting this on now. He leading there. There go the word lead again. My God, how many times when we hear all these people, they using the word lead, they gonna lead you right out of your VA compensation. Now, Mike says, that's why only, MG Smith says, that's why only 1% serve because it's selfless. Yes, indeed. You giving up your sacrifice and everything. Now listen to what Coastie has to say. Coastie says, and now that's the people who you want to cut their benefits. Yeah, indeed. You want to cut their benefits, the ones that serve. He giving these testimonials, but they trying to block us doing things such as what? Filing for appeals. Great point, Coastie and MG Smith and Brother Charleston and all of the family. So family, let's get to it. Family, we did it tonight, and I thank y'all. And thank y'all for watching it and being patient. We appreciate you. Now, about our channel, family, and if anything else y'all want to say in the chat, we can get ready to get started on that. Our mission statement is to be informative, interactive, troll-free, protective, respectful, and transparent. This is our mission statement. Our regular scheduled live streams are on Sundays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central, and we will from time to time have impromptu live streams. Many times it's on a Tuesday. How to contact us. This is our contact information, our email address, our channel handle, where you can go watch videos and live streams over there, and our donation information. Coming soon, we're going to be talking about secondary service connection, how one condition or each condition can have secondary conditions where you can also be compensated for. Now, this is amazing. Betty Bob say we have 18 likes and 13 watching. Thank you, family, for your support. That's coming soon. Also coming soon, we're going to be talking about the theory into practice, where the VA whole person theory, where they take a theory and they use it to rate our VA disability. Okay. New releases, family. This one we did how the VA, and you need to go back and watch this because this shows the specific case of a young Marine by the name of Jordan who was ambushed at the VA after he voluntarily went in there for treatment. You hear me? Voluntary. And when he asked for the person that said that, the person told me to ask for him, they tackled him, kept him in there for 3 days. Baker acted him, and he got out and never would go back. He got out 3 days later, and a month later, he took his own life. I think 6 months later. And we will never forget these stories, and his in particular, because people, should be held. And even the Office of Inspector General said that they mishandled this and they did wrong. But did anybody get fired? Where's the person that tricked him into going there to the VA hospital? Where's the person who tackled him? All of them should be prosecuted, in my opinion. But they're somewhere disappeared. VA got their own law. Here, what does the VA owe us? Well, not what the VA, what does the U.S. government owe us? And I break down in this live stream what we owe and why we owed it. Here, the super soldier syndrome. Why are so many highly decorated veterans are speaking against our VA disability compensation? So it's like a Trojan horse kind of thing. They come all, Like, look at me, look at my accomplishments. Now, guess what? You don't need no VA compensation. Hey, hold on. You trying to use shiny things to distract me? Let's continue. And then this video, the VA bait and switch falls right into that, where they want, once we get our 100%, they trying to get us back to work and take away the 100% and our other VA disability ratings. Now we're at the after party, family. So join the conversation. Any questions, comments, or concerns, let us know. We want to hear from you. All right, family. What do y'all want? What's on your mind? Any questions, comments, or concerns? Let us know. I got a question for y'all. But let's get to Brother Charleston's statement first. Say, H-Town, these talkers at Congress hearings are dishonoring military service by casting doubt on our honor. How can we get a voice, my brother, Charleston, and the rest of the veteran family? How can we get a voice in these hearings when they won't allow us in there? These are people that has been handpicked, vetted to make sure that they're not going to ask the wrong questions. They give the people that would ask the right questions a very limited amount of time. They want to hear from the people that's saying what they want to hear. In my opinion, and they don't want to look bad as leaders in those hearings. Come on now. And my question, family, what veteran bank, and y'all can ask whatever question you would like to, what veteran bank do you like the most, or a bank that caters to veterans? Let me put it like that. The bank that I like, if I had to rank it, they have Navy Federal Credit Union, they have USAA, they have Army Navy Bank. Name some of the other banks, family, that cater to veterans. Do you know any other banks that you've seen on bases? I know there's a few down in San Antonio. Okay, Navy Federal Credit Union is one of them. Which one you like the most? Name some of the other banks, family. Navy Federal Credit Union, and let us know why you prefer Navy Federal Credit Union. What bank do you feel the most? And it could be a bank that don't cater to veterans you might like. Let us know. Once Navy Federal came to Houston, I canceled my Chase Bank account. I canceled my Bank of America account because I could do everything at Navy Federal. Now I do keep my what's that? USA going. Now there's USA. If you don't have any bank that's associated with the military, just say none. No problem at all. And you don't have to reveal if you don't want to. Now listen. How's that weather where you're at, family? We're doing great time, 2 hours and 28 minutes. We went over the information. And how's that weather? It's been kind of windy. It was colder earlier. Here, right now, it's 50 degrees. Ow. I almost hit my foot with my iPhone. I said ow, and it didn't hit me. How can I have a preemptive ouch and it didn't hit me yet? It tapped. Isn't that's kind of, I'm kind of making up stuff, right? Now the Betty Bob say, I had them since I was 19 years old. I do have Towers Federal Savings Bank. Now let me ask you, so Navy Federal been around a long time like that? Let me ask you this here. Navy Federal is on some bases, I know that. Now, is USA in the military bases? I don't know if USA is, but I know, and they don't really have, the reason I focus more on Navy Federal, because USA don't have many branches you can go to, really can't go to branches. It's always been mobile, They pay you back if you use debit. There's a machine over here where I can go deposit money, get money out, things like that. Somebody don't use no military banks associated with the military. Oh, let me get back to Brother Charleston. He say all credit unions are better for veterans than large banks. Why is that? I agree with you, but I don't know why. MG Smith said, I've been with USA for 30 years. I've been with USA since 95. So how long would that be? I've been with USA since 1995. That'd be 30 years too. MG Smith, we got the same time period. Big Blue 50 said none. Why you don't deal with them, Big Blue? You just haven't heard about them, or you just hadn't had a need to, or what is it? Betty Bob said, I have never seen USA. What you mean you never seen them? Go look them up. There's no banks, but there's they used to have little banks, but when I went to the offices for car insurance and stuff, they kind of got rid of them. They like mobile. And the one I went to in San Antonio, they want you to get on a website, so it didn't make no sense. Now, MG Smith says it's 31 degrees and clear, Cooksville, Tennessee. Now, family, if this live stream is important to you, especially for new people coming in and for those who've been here, there's no need to troll, because we want you here, but your longevity here that will not stop you from being blocked. Your popularity here will not stop you from being blocked. The only thing that will stop you from being blocked is not continuously trolling. And that's it. I think I read your MG Smith. Now, Coasty say 42 feels like 37 with wind and winter storm warning for Tuesday. Warning for Tuesday. Okay. You be safe out there. Charleston say 36 degrees, partly cloudy, Pennsylvania. CU are smaller and locally operated. Okay. The credit unions over there. I like credit unions. You remember Chartway Federal Credit Union? Do they still exist? Does Chartway still exist? Matter of fact, y'all saying my Navy, not my Navy. That's why I got my direct deposit. I think I'm gonna have to go over there to USA and put some money in there tomorrow. Now, I've been with Navy Federal Credit Union 1985. I never seen USA Bank. I have USA since 1989 for insurance. Yeah, I got them still for insurance, but I changed my house over from them to Navy Federal because they were with GMAC and they went bankrupt and turned into awkward loan. So that was an awkward situation. So USA wasn't actually one over the loan, but with Navy Federal, they promised me that they would be responsible no matter what happened. Now, Betty Bob say temperature 38 degrees, partly cloudy, going down to 28 degrees. Family, how do y'all like these topics that we've been covering? Do you want to cover more of them? Right now, would you want to go into more benefits? Let me know. But we're tying these benefits into what's happening in current news. Who likes going over current news like we've been doing? How do you feel about it? Let me know. What's your opinion? And if you haven't had a chance, let us know what the temperature is where you at. Let us know, family. We want y'all to stay safe, stay warm, make sure you have the proper heating. Betty Bob's, Charleston, Coasty, and MG Smith in Tennessee. That's cold. How that temperature where you at, Big Blue? Family, we want to thank y'all, family. Let's say our good night. We've been here for 2 hours and 34 minutes. and we got that thing down. We doing good. Did y'all enjoy the live stream tonight? Did you learn something from the live stream? Let us know. We want to say the first person in was MG Smith tonight. He was the first. Thank you for being here. Brother, thank you so much. Brother Charleston was second. Betty Boss was third. Thank all of you. Charleston, Coastie was fourth, I guess. And thank you, Brother Coastie, for being here. Thank you, Betty Bob, for all the information, keeping track of the counts and everything when it comes to likes and how many people's in the chat. Thank you for that. Now, if I miss you, charge it to my head, not to my heart. Thank you, Early Benny was in here. Thank you for being part of our group and always checking in. We thank you so much for that. Did Jay Oliver come through tonight? I've been thinking about Jay Oliver. He's been on my mind tonight. Did y'all like the topic, what we covered? Let me know if it was something interesting. What did you learn tonight that you didn't know already? Farm Girl Rebel, thank you so much for always being interactive, supportive. Josie, thank you so much, Josie. Crimson Alumni 04, your incredible support. Thank you, and we salute you. Thank you so much. Then I think I'm looking for Big Blue down here. Thank y'all, family, for being so kind, so patient with H-Town. And we want to get this information out, and we're going to keep it pushing. Big Blue, thank you for showing up. We thank you for being so incredible. And we thank all of you that are watching, and you may not be commenting, but you're watching live. Thank you for being here. Thank you for those that are watching recorded. Everybody is welcome here. However you choose to view or interact with the program, you are important. We thank you. Now let's see what we have. Now listen to what Charleston say. Please quit with Pastor Dougie. He won't change. Okay, I'll only have something if he's saying something where he's being cornered or forced to ask questions, or it's something relevant. I don't want to run your blood pressure. And I only did it tonight because he hadn't been around. I want somebody to give him a hard interview. If I see any hard interviews, I'll let you. I'll definitely pull them up. Betty Bob say, H-Town, I like working for Navy Federal Credit Union title because their loan documents are easier. Yes, I agree. I work when I got my house, and I got a good deal when I got my house refinanced. You know, at the time, I think it was like 3.2, because you know when I first got my home 20 years ago, it was 5.5 was a good rate, but I hadn't changed it for years, and I was able to get that reduced. Coastie say, I saw the ATM machine on the screen. It said H Bank. Is that your bank, brother? Well, hold on. Let me see. Oh, hold on. Did it say H Bank? Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, let me see what I got here. I got to find out. Hold on. Boy, y'all got me. Did it say H Bank? Let's see. Let me see. Oh, Lord, I never really paid attention. You're right. I never really paid bank. Now, that's a M Bank, I think. M Bank. I thought it said H2. I think it say M Bank. Wow, you be paying attention to stuff though. Now, it wasn't my bank. Now, boy, I enjoy talking to y'all. I enjoy interacting with y'all. Y'all really keep my spirits up because life can be a struggle, sometimes. And we are alone, and given some of the things and the thoughts we have, we need to encourage each other. Betty Bob H-Town, your live streams are always amazing and informative. Thank you so much. Y'all make it that way. Huh? Crimson Alumni 4 say, have a good night, y'all. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Salute to you. And then Betty Bob says, H-Town, enjoy your week and have a good night. We're going to do that. Want you to do the same. I love y'all and ain't nothing you can do about it. You hear me? Now, let me put myself on the screen for a minute. So let me see what happened. MG Smith said, H-Town, good night and veteran family. I hope y'all enjoyed your holidays. Get your proper rest. Make sure you go to your appointments. H-Town, did you get your, what is that? What is that, frigid? What is that? Tell me what that is. Tell me, like a cooler or a refrigerator? Fridge? What fridge was I supposed to get? Let me know, Betty Bobs. Family, I really enjoyed y'all. Y'all have been so incredible. And we're going to keep on bringing that information, family. Then our brother, let me know what you mean by that, Betty. If you're not now, you can send me an email. Now, Charleston says, good night, family and shipmates. Yes, indeed. Y'all Navy always keeping it strong, and we appreciate it. But we celebrate all branches of the military. I was in the Army, Navy, Coast Guard, Marine, Space Force, and Air Force. All y'all have loved it. Your refrigerator from your niece. No, we left it down there. When we went down there, I said, I'll get both of them refrigerators next time. She kept my daughter's refrigerator down there. So she ain't got but 1 week left at school. And then she gonna have her graduation. I gotta send her some more money for that. Oh, Lord. I'm tight with that money. Oh, Lord. But we gotta make sure the family right. And if you didn't get to watch the whole live stream, please go back. It's a short live stream compared to our other ones. Your refrigerator from your niece. No, I haven't. When I go back up there, one of them is my niece, the other my daughter. She just let my niece keep one in her room, and the other one she kept in the common area because the other girl didn't have to have a refrigerator. And they have real freezers in these little refrigerators. You remember them old fake freezers they had? No, this stuff, that little freezer freeze stuff for real. I'm gonna see will they let me keep one of them up here. Can I rent it or something? You know what I'm saying? They say rent it and forget it. They started saying, what my refrigerator? I thought that was mine. Huh? Family, thank y'all. I want y'all to have an incredible night. And we're gonna see y'all. We might have a live stream on Tuesday. I don't know yet, but be looking out for any impromptu live streams. Click on your notifications and check them. And we want y'all to have a wonderful night. And thank you for being here with us. And until next time, family, good night.